Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL mock draft video. Today, I'm going to break down my Kansas City Chiefs and what they're going to do with the 31st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're a Chiefs fan or you're a draft fan or a football fan, you're in the right place. Welcome home. It's good to finally have you here. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you're notified every time I release a video or I go live on YouTube. Currently, every Friday night, 7:15 Central Standard Time, I go live right here on YouTube and answer all of your questions live on the air. Now, if you've been here before, you already know the drill. You give me a thumbs up and you drop a comment below with who you have the Kansas City Chiefs taken with the 31st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. So, hey, let's break down the Chiefs. First off, Chiefs fans, I do not have the Chiefs taking a tackle here. All right. I know that almost every mock draft and several people have left comments on my video saying you got to go tackle here. Well, no, you don't. And I got three reasons why tackle's not going to be the pick here. Number one, draft value. There is a lot of offensive linemen in my mock draft already off the board. Whoever you take here at 31 is probably going to be available at 51, maybe even 63. You're not going to get good draft value here at 31 with the amount of offensive linemen that are going to go early in this draft. Now, this draft is very deep as far as tackles are concerned. Could the Chiefs take a tackle in round 2 or 3? Absolutely. But taking one here at 31, I don't see that at all. Now, if Kansas City Chiefs decided, hey, we're going to get a left tackle in the draft, they're going to trade up. And they do have a few extra picks that they can play around with. I do think that would be a possibility. If the Chiefs trade up, yeah, they could trade up and go get a tackle. More than likely, what I could see Kansas City doing is actually trading down. I think there's going to be a few teams that are going to be interested in getting those bottom 5 picks. I think that you're going to see either Buffalo, Green Bay, Kansas City, or Tampa Bay trade out of round 1. And if that's the case, then Kansas City could trade out of round 1, take a tackle in round 2. But the draft value for tackles here at 31 is really low. And I don't think Kansas City is going to, I think Kansas City really wants to use its 31st pick in the draft for an impact player. And they also want to get really good draft value. Number 2 reason is look at Andy Reid's track record. Yes, I know Eric Fisher was the first pick in the 2013 draft, but that's kind of a different type of situation. The 2013 draft was famously bad. It was the first draft, I think, ever that didn't have a quarterback going in round 1. A lot of you Chiefs fans were wanting to use that pick on Geno Smith. I know at least one person watching this was asking for Geno Smith. Don't lie. I know some of you are still out there, but of course you're not going to admit that. And I don't blame you. I was anti-Geno Smith. I thought left tackle was the way to go, but it was a situation where they couldn't get out of the pick. They couldn't trade out of it, and there wasn't really anybody worthwhile. So you go ahead, you take Eric Fisher, and he was a really good player. Not a great player, but he went to a couple Pro Bowls and helped Kansas City win a Super Bowl. But bottom line, that's never been the Kansas City Chiefs' MO. Now, Lucas Niang, he was a third round draft pick last year. He's a tackle. There's a good chance he's the starting tackle this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. But as far as Andy Reid's concerned, that's one position because he's a former offensive line coach. He's been able to take lower draft picks and make them into really good players. They've also been able to use free agency really well. And that brings me to the third point I have is that the starting left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs is not going to be a rookie. I can almost promise you that. You have a $500 million quarterback. You have a old school who plays a new school type of philosophy. But as far as offensive line, I can promise you you're not going to trust a rookie to protect your $500 million man. No, absolutely not. You're going to have a veteran at left tackle. You're going to have somebody who knows the offense. You're going to have somebody who's experienced. The one thing I can promise you, Chiefs fans, is that even if you're starting, even if they use this draft pick on a tackle, he's not going to be the starting left tackle opening day. Eric Fisher, number 1 pick overall, where'd he start? Right tackle, not at left tackle. Trust me, Andy Reid's not going to leave Patrick Mahomes blindside to a rookie. So now that I got that out of the way, let's look at the defensive side of the ball. Greg Newsome could easily be the pick here. The big corner out of Northwestern is exactly what Steve Spagnuolo wants. You have a big, physical, fast corner who can play man, he can play off man, he can play zone, and he's physical against the run. I could easily see this being the pick here. And this is a guy who may even start day one, which is unusual for an Andy Reid team. But I think that if you do decide to draft Greg Newsome here, it makes a lot of sense. And he would contribute a lot day one. I'm not sure if he's a starter or not, but this would be a pick I could easily see. You could also take Nick Bolton, the local kid out of Missouri. And this would be an interesting pick because last year they drafted Willie Gay in the second round, and he didn't play very often, but they were using him because Damian Wilson was leaving in free agency, which he did. So they have Anthony Hitchens moving over back, the middle linebacker, and they're going to have Willie Gay be the other starting linebacker. The Kansas City Chiefs like playing a lot of nickel, so a guy like Bolton, who also was a special teams demon early in his career at MU, that's another Andy Reid staple, would be really good on special teams. Wouldn't play much on defense year one, but would probably take over for Anthony Hitchens as starting middle linebacker in year two. And you get Willie Gay, 2022 going forward, 2 fast athletic linebackers that could play all 3 downs. That's really exciting. But this would be a pick that would really be for the future. He wouldn't have much of an impact this year. Personally, I think if you do draft defense, it comes down to 1 or 2 players. I think it's either Greg Newsome or Greg Rousseau. Rousseau, I think, would be a dream for Steve Spagnuolo. And for those of you that don't know, Steve Spagnuolo, a.k.a. Spags, is the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, who beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl using that famous NASCAR package. Well, you get Greg Rousseau here, the 6'7", 270-pound defensive end out of Miami with an 83-inch wingspan and 11-inch hands. He has the length that you could play inside or outside in these sub packages. You could go ahead, if you want to go the NASCAR route, you can put him on the inside. You could actually put him on the inside, just have him take a step back and just wave his arms around, blocking traffic lanes and just trying to play a swat him, like a volleyball spike. And that's something that Spagnuolo loves, is the length and the upside. The kid's only 20, so he wouldn't contribute as a starter day one. He would just come in on sub packages. But think about this: when you enter the playoffs, you're going to have Frank Clark, Chris Jones, newly signed Jared Reed, and Greg Rousseau on the other side. That's a dream for the Chiefs, and it's a nightmare for opponents. Another thing about taking Rousseau is that the Chiefs played a lot from up front, but they only had 32 sacks. That's not near enough. So you go ahead and you take a guy like Rousseau. He does improve your pass rush, even though he doesn't start that much. But personally, I got the Chiefs going on the other side of the ball. Before I reveal my pick, I do want to throw out a dark horse, and that would be Pat Freiermuth, the tight end out of Penn State. And yes, I'm fully aware the Chiefs have the best tight end in football in Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce is basically a wide receiver. Pat Freiermuth is a classic tight end with really good receiving ability. Now, when you say really good receiving ability, Travis Kelce level, no, not even close. But this would be a classic tight end that you could use with Kelce. You could use a lot of 11 personnel, and then you could split them both wide, and both of them are excellent threats as wide receivers. And this is a guy I could see Kansas City taking. And at 31, he provides excellent draft value. But the pick that I have Kansas City taken also provides excellent draft value. Without further ado, with the 31st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Chiefs select Terrace Marshall, wide receiver out of LSU. Now, last year, everybody thought I was crazy because I had the Chiefs taking a running back. I had the Chiefs taking DeAndre Swift. Now, I got the position right. I just got the player wrong. But I was correct that the Chiefs were going to take a running back last year at pick number 32. So before you say I'm crazy, I was right last year. And there's several reasons why I really like this pick. For you old school Chiefs fans, this is the great nephew of late Joe Delaney. Yes, this is a player who's actually related to Joe Delaney. If you don't know the story, here's a guy, a former Chiefs running back who was on his way to being an NFL superstar when he saw a couple kids drowning in a lake. And even though he didn't know to swim, he jumped in to try to save their lives and died in the process, died at 24 years old. So kind of a neat factor if you could say that. But I like the fact that he's related to Joe Delaney, whose name is in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. So I kind of like that, that he's related to the late Joe Delaney. When the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they had a big contributor in Sammy Watkins. Terrace Marshall reminds me a little bit of Sammy Watkins. He's actually taller and faster. Watkins was a big dude, about 215, where Marshall's around 200. A little slender, or a little slimmer, but reminds me a lot of Watkins, and he was part of that LSU national championship team. He was actually the number 3 receiver behind Ja'Marr Chase and Justin Jefferson, and in Kansas City he would be option number 3 behind Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So as the number 3 receiver at LSU, he was part of what a lot of people think it was the greatest offense in college football history. He did miss 3 games that year, still had 13 touchdowns with Justin Jefferson and Ja'Marr Chase on that team. Also, you have CEH on that team, so he gets reunited with Carlos Edwards-Helaire. So I kind of like that. Now, if you draft Terrace Marshall here, he doesn't start day one, okay? He just plays a handful of snaps, but what I'm really hoping is that come playoff time, he becomes wide receiver either number 2 or number 3. Bottom line, this offense would be extremely dangerous with Marshall as part of it. I mean, just to summarize why I like this pick, I like the fact that he's related to Joe Delaney. Very similar to the departed Sammy Watkins. He excelled as option number 3 for the LSU national championship team. And then last year when he was the number 1 option, he played really well. He averaged over 100 yards receiving a game, and he ended up not finishing the season, sitting out because he knew he was going to be a high draft pick. In 7 games, he had 10 touchdowns. So this guy's a touchdown threat. And I like him better than Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota because LSU did run a pro-style offense, and I think he has more natural athleticism and upside, even though a lot of people think Bateman might be ranked a little higher. So the draft value at 31 is very good here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I want to know, Chiefs fans, do you like this pick? Do you think I'm nuts for not taking a tackle? I know a lot of you have been saying tackle. I don't believe it. But I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what your opinion is. You know the drill. Drop a comment below. And if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up. These videos are awesome. And tomorrow, I'm going to break down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they're going to do with the 32nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. So, hey, I will see you tomorrow.